Welcome in here, out there, all of our viewers around the world. Welcome to The Late Show. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert. There's no denying it. It's a dark day. Over the last 5 years, we've seen democracy repeatedly undermined, tragic, unprecedented firestorms, a global pandemic. Well, this morning, Vladimir Putin looked at all of that and said, "Hold my vodka." Because today, Russia officially attacked Ukraine. Now, listen, I don't know what's going to happen, but one thing's for sure. Putin should fire those peacekeepers. You had one job. This is the biggest ground war in Europe since World War II, and the whole world is in shock. That's why today's wordle was, ah! It was easy. It was fairly easy, actually.
Yeah.
Ukrainian cities are in chaos. The highways are jammed with people trying to leave, and the people who couldn't get out are using subway stations as bomb shelters. And while you're down there, find that pantsless guy who's always on the train yelling, "The end is near," because I think we owe him an apology. Putin announced the start of his war around 10 p.m. our time last night, and he had a pretty lame excuse to justify it.
I've taken the decision to conduct a special military operation. Its purpose is to protect people who have been subject to abuse and genocide by the Kiev regime for 8 years. And to do this, we will strive to demilitarize and denazify Ukraine.
De-Nazify? That's hard to do when you're acting like De-Nazis. Now, this is obviously a ridiculous claim. First of all, Zelensky's not a Nazi. He's from a Jewish background, and he's barely even a politician. He's a former TV comedian. This is like if the U.S. invaded Canada to capture war criminal Eugene Levy. What I'm trying to say is, the world is up Schitt's Creek. The invasion... That would be great. Putin issued a threat to anyone who might try to oppose him.
Whoever tries to interfere with us, and even more so to create threats for our country, our people should know that Russia's response will be immediate and will lead you to such consequences that you have never experienced in your history.
Something we've never experienced? He's gonna make a good Michael Bay movie? Eagle-eyed viewers may have noticed Putin seemed to be wearing the exact same outfit he wore on Monday. Did he pre-tape his invasion speech? That is so dishonest. Only a monster would pre-tape a television appearance and try to pass it off as live. Pro tip, Vlad, just switch out the tie. Right up until the end, Ukraine and its allies were pursuing diplomatic solutions. In fact, Ukraine's ambassador to the UN convened a special session of the Security Council last night. Just one problem: Russia invaded Ukraine as they spoke. That's what they were there to stop. That's like having an intervention and somebody interrupts with, "Brian, we love you so much, and we want you to get help right after happy hour. Come on, pussy, let's do some shots. You're way more fun when you're drunk, buddy. Come on. Let's get crunked." Peace, of course, never had much of a chance, because this month, just so happens, the president of the Security Council is Russia. So, the one in charge of stopping Russia is Russia. Reminds me of the time when the American Cancer Society appointed their new president, Dr. Joseph T. Camel. The Ukrainian ambassador patiently waited for his turn to speak, but ultimately, he had to throw out his remarks because the invasion had started. As he said, most of it is already useless. I know the feeling. Tonight, I had so many jokes prepared for National Chili Day, which is now totally useless because of the invasion. I'd like to say I'm over it, but honestly, it's been tough. It's a dark day. Leaders from across the globe condemned Putin's illegal invasion, including Joe Biden, who smacked Putin with a whole bunch of new sanctions today, including one that will cut Russia off from semiconductors crucial to the military, biotechnology, and aerospace industries. So, Russians coming back from the International Space Station, you're going to have to call an Uber. Biden also announced sanctions on corrupt billionaires and their families who are close to the Kremlin. Of course, that's emotionally and financially close to the Kremlin. They can still live at Mar-a-Lago. The president... What? You okay? All right? The president made it clear that these sanctions are a matter of principle.
This aggression cannot go unanswered. If it did, the consequences for America would be much worse. America stands up to bullies. We stand up for freedom.
America stands up to bullies. We stand up for freedom. Then we lie down for liberty because we ate that burger with donut buns for lunch. And it's not just world leaders. Many Russians feel a deep unease over going to war. In fact, today, average citizens bravely took to the streets, including this anti-war protest in St. Petersburg. All this despite Russia's interior ministry telling TV viewers to refrain from unsanctioned protests or they'll be arrested, not because of the war, but because of coronavirus restrictions on public events. Citizen, you'll receive large black mask that also covers the rest of your head. Now, everyone into the windowless testing vans. Cable news, of course, is covering this around the clock, which made for some odd moments when they cut away from the war for commercials.
We'll go inside and in the capital of Kyiv as air raid sirens are ringing out this morning. Much more reaction and insight from CNN's chief international anchor, Christiana Amanpour. That's up next.
And a little bit of chicken fried, cold beer on a Friday night.
Meanwhile, Ukraine is singing, "I want my country back, country back, country back." Amidst all this horror, it's important to keep our eyes on the unhinged fascist lunatic. I'm talking about former President Stonewall Jackass. He has been out there pushing a pro-Putin agenda forever, and he was still at it last night in a speech at Mar-a-Lago.
Trump said Putin's smart. I mean, he's taken over a country for $2 worth of sanctions. I'd say that's pretty smart. He's taking over a country, really a vast location, a great piece of land with a lot of people and just walking right in.
Everything is a real estate deal with this guy. It's the biggest attack on a European country since World War II. When Hitler invaded Poland, FDR didn't say, well, it would make a good golf course. Then, as the invasion began, the ex-prez took to Russian state media, I'm sorry, I misread that, Fox News, and he had a lot of opinions. He had a lot of opinions, just not a lot of information.
We're just learning that U.S. officials are looking at a potential amphibious landing now in Odessa, Ukraine.
It's also very dangerous, as you told me, about the amphibious attack by Americans. You shouldn't be saying that because you and everybody else shouldn't know about it. They should do that secretly, not be doing that through the great Laura Ingraham. They should be doing that secretly. Nobody should know that, Laura. And, you know,
no,
that
was the Russian.
Those
are the Russian amphibious landing.
I thought you said that. I thought you said that we were sending people in.
Yeah. Sometimes he has trouble telling the difference between America and Russia. He knows he works for one of them. We got a great show for you tonight. My guests are journalist and Russian analyst Julia Yappi and